All right, seeing as it's 9 a.m., let's go ahead and call the State Transportation Board meeting to order. Welcome, and thank you for all here for participating. It is not by accident that we are in Flagstaff in July. I'm really grateful to be here. We will go ahead and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and that will be led by Floyd Rourke.
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Floyd, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's all we'll say. Karen, will you please proceed with the roll call?
Chair Daniels,
Present.
Vice Chair Maxwell, Board Member Howard,
Present.
Board Member Elters,
Present.
Board Member Peshlikai,
Here.
Board Member Searle,
Here.
Board Member Hermosillo.
Present.
Madam Chair, you have a quorum. You may proceed.
Thank you. Just a quick note of gratitude to the 4 groups that came together yesterday to host the reception at the new downtown connection facility. It's a great facility, and I really appreciated the tour and the creativity that they used to build that pretty remarkable facility that's meeting so many needs. So thank you to Coconino County and to the City of Flagstaff and to MetroPlan and the Mountain Line for hosting us last evening. And the mocktails were on point. They were delicious. I wanted one of each. So thank you very much for doing that and for accommodating all of us. Any other remarks, opening remarks from the board members? All right, seeing none, we will ask Floyd to proceed with the announcement of the Title VI Civil Rights Act.
Yes, Madam Chair. Pursuant to Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Americans with Disability Act, the Arizona State Transportation Board and ADOT do not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, or disability. No person will be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefit of, or be otherwise subjected to discrimination under any Arizona State Transportation Board or ADOT program or activity. To assist in measuring the public's participation, we ask individuals to please complete an online self-identification survey, and the link to that survey is on the agenda. For those in person, we have survey cards at the entrance to the council chambers. Please complete a card and leave it there. We'll pick it up at the end of the meeting. By completing this voluntary survey, ADOT will be able to determine who attends public meetings and how the department can improve participation. The survey will also help ADOT fulfill federal reporting requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Floyd. We'll now move on to call to the audience. We have just a few individuals who wish to speak today, and we'll start with Supervisor Chris Cupnio. On deck will be Mayor Nancy Smith. And just a quick reminder that there's a 3-minute time limit.
Oh, I'll be faster than that, Chair. Chair, Board, thanks for having me today. What did you say? Oh,
Just make sure that was on.
all right. Talking about the SR 89 on-ramp project that we have in Yavapai County. I'm Supervisor Chris Cupnio, District 4. And the more I keep thinking about the SR 89 on-ramp project, the more I feel like this could be attainable with ADOT's greater assistance. The ask of ADOT is $4.5 million to make this project happen, which in the grand scheme of things is a small piece. But a little history on the project. 3 years ago, the Arizona State Legislature fully funded the design and construction of this project for around $6 million. But then 2 years ago, the legislature took back the construction funding for this project for yet another project. As of this year, the project is fully designed with an estimated cost around $5.5 million, and local municipalities in the county are willing to contribute $1 million towards this project. This project sits shovel ready. It's ready to go. It can be a real quick win for ADOT and Yavapai County. But as we know, design and cost will only be valid for so long as cost of construction just keeps screaming and getting, frankly, quite silly out there. This intersection is a major intersection of State Routes 89 and 89A. It's basically a hub between Prescott Valley, and Chino Valley. It's what ties us all together. It's adjacent to the Prescott Regional Airport, which is one of the busiest airports outside of Phoenix, and it's also going to grow here very shortly into a longer runway to service more planes. Simple, along with our local cities and towns in Yavapai County, are here today because the clock is ticking on this project, and we are confident with your help we can deliver this much needed project in Yavapai County. So please consider it. Thank you so much.
Mayor Smith. And on deck is Michael Lumley-Yakateo.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members, Director Toth, and ADOT staff. I am here today with an overwhelming thank you. I know that the meeting in Payson was crazy and ended pretty quickly at the end, and I got to say a few thank yous, but I wanted very much to be here today to personally thank you. Our residents of the city of Maricopa, thank you very much from the bottom of their hearts. We have so many partners to thank besides the State Transportation Board, ADOT, we have Pinal County, we have MAG, we have Gila River Indian Community, our residents, so many to thank for being now in the 5-year plan. So we very much appreciate that. We are going to celebrate, and I wanted to make sure that you had a personal invitation from me as well. And it might sound weird to celebrate just the beginning of a project that we know will have many challenges in the future, but this is also a communication tool to our residents in a way that we can share with them what's going on, what to expect. We'll have some information boards up as well as 3 ways to party. And Floyd, I know you're the partier of the group, so you have 3 opportunities. You can choose lane 1, which is a pool party, August 9th, 12 to 5 o'clock. Lane 2, which is the fast lane fun, August 9th, 12 to 5, where we'll have entertainment, bouncy houses, family fun. This is also where the information boards will be that we'll be using for communication to our residents. And then the 3rd lane is cruise control lane, which is on August 12th from 11 to 1 at our Maricopa Community Center. It is for our seniors 55 plus. And so we're excited about this. Again, we do know that there are challenges ahead. We're ready to work on those challenges, but we just wanted you to know how much we appreciate you so much and for allowing 347 to be in the 5-year plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Smith. Michael? And please correct me on your last name. I'd love to know how to pronounce it.
Thank you. So good morning, Chair, Board, and Director Toth. So my name is Michael Lumley-Yakateo. I'm with the Hopi Department of Transportation, Hopi Tribe. So I wanted to address the board on 3 of the items that we have pending for Hopi. One is the HRR 2.12 Kachina Point Road, also previously known as the Loop Road. It is 47 miles, and we have that designed into 2 phases. So we have been working with the RTAC, through the RTAC process, and have presented before committee on several occasions for support. This is a vital connection for the northeast corner of the state. Provides the corridor into the northeast 4 corners of the state, and it's vital to many of our partners, Navajo, and all of the other users of this area. So the issues that we continue to have with this is when we have 8 to 9 closures, this becomes a vital route, and through Hopi, 264 is not anywhere near that provide support to these oversized vehicles. And so Route 2, also Kachina Point Road, is the vital link. So we ask and request the state for continued support. The other is that we have an upcoming SR 264 pedestrian pathway extension, which was approved. It is an HSIP project. As a result, we've had previous SR 264 intersection lighting pathway, which was completed. So this is an extension to that. And again, we request your support because this pathway that is currently moving forward does not have the lighting also associated with this. So we are requesting for support that lighting is crucial, as this is an extension of a pedestrian unfortunate fatality. Third on my list is the corridor planning study for SR 264, which we are over midway with the completion of this project. There are many issues with 264 that we have been expressing to the board on a number of occasions. We have at the beginning initial of this project that there were 12 crashes on this stretch of roadway. But with this project starting, we now have surfaced 96 fatalities. With that, I thank you for the time.
Thank you. Next up, we have Dave Norton.
Good morning, Director, Chair, and Board. I'm Dave Norton from the village of Oak Creek. I've got a simple question. Does anybody care? Does the state of Arizona care? Does ADOT care? And does this board care? I'm talking about exit 298 again. I've been before you before, handed in reports. We've done all kinds of things. I've attended many safety meetings. Nothing has happened. Exit 298 has been on the 5-year plan at least twice that I know of, and somehow it just flies away. This is an intersection that almost every visitor to northern Arizona comes through to get to Sedona and then onto the Grand Canyon. Millions of people, and it looks like something from out of a third world country. It's over 50 years old. It's dangerous. We have short ramps. And just last week, July 9th, we had a semi come south with brakes on fire. The entire truck burned to the ground. That was very close to being a forest fire had that spread into the adjacent growth. We need to do something, please. As I said before, I would love to have 5 more witnesses up here talking about this, but they were all killed and burned to death in their car when a truck hit them broadside. They were coming to a graduation at Sedona High School. This kind of stuff keeps happening all the time. Overheated trucks and whatever. Can we do something to show pride in Arizona and update that intersection? We've got an international award-winning bridge designer in the village who has submitted a nice, interesting design. Nothing happened. And I see on the 5-year plan, we're going to do the deck. The deck isn't the problem. It's the whole intersection. And I'm pleading with you on behalf of all of the residents there and all the visitors that come through there. Let's show some pride in Arizona and show that we care about safety and fix this intersection, please. We're doing new bridges over rivers. We're doing nice paving here and there. We're even building overpasses for animals. Can't we look at the people and the safety in this state and present a welcoming, good-looking entry into northern Arizona? Thank you.
And last but certainly not least is Mayor Daggett here. Oh, sure. Thank you for hosting us today, Mayor. We really appreciate it.
Good morning. It's been a long time since I've stood here. So I'm here to welcome you to Flagstaff. Thank you so much for holding your meeting here. It's good to see you. And to thank you for the Smart Fund Awards that are enabling critical projects like our Butler Safe Streets, our Butler Safe Streets, Butler and Fourth improvements, Downtown Mile, new Mountain Line maintenance bays. The Smart Fund is helping us keep our promises to voters even as costs have skyrocketed. We were disappointed to not see the fund recapitalized in the state's budget, but we will continue to advocate for this next year and hope that the board will join with us in that. Federal infrastructure funding is so important to cities like Flagstaff, and we ask you to join with us in continuing to advocate for those funds coming to Arizona. ADOT is the owner of key roads in Flagstaff, and the city is on a mission to ensure that all of our residents, no matter what mode, make it home safely. The Metro Plan partners reviewed all identified projects on the state highway system in the region and jointly agreed that US 180 is our #1 priority for ADOT to invest in. A key component of that project is a crossing at US 180 in Forest, and that's probably what I hear from residents the most, is the danger of crossing there. We ask ADOT to be nimble and open-minded to context-sensitive improvements on roads such as US 180 in Milton. And I hope those of you from out of town get a chance to stick around and enjoy a weekend in Flagstaff. And I wish you a productive meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That concludes all of the cards that I have for call to the audience. Is there anyone additional that we missed? You have one online?
Yeah, ma'am, can we have one online, Mr. Ron Hageron?
Terrific, thank you. Yeah, we'll go to Ron now.
Mr. Hageron, it looks like you have been unmuted. You may go ahead and make your statement. Oh, no. Looks like he was just muted. Victoria, can you please work with Ron to get him unmuted?
Can everybody hear me now?
We can hear you.
Great, okay. Thank you, Adolph, for the opportunity, as always, to address the board. And echoing what Mayor Smith said, I want to give a big thank you to your decision at the last board meeting regarding State Route 347. Major kudos to you and your staff. Your innovative thinking led to a wonderful outcome for both us and Lion Springs. This decision will help save lives. I wish I could be there in person today to personally shake each one of your hands and say thanks face to face. On a more somber note, since the last board meeting, there have been several serious accidents on State Route 347, including a fatality at Casablanca Road and another fatality at Ridge Road. If there is anything we can do to help accelerate the changes on State Route 347, we would be delighted to assist and partner with you. The citizens of Maricopa thank you again for your decision and support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. One more. Carrie?
Yes, good morning, members. I'm Karen Cruz, and I'm here on behalf of the town of Sahuarita. And we really just wanted to take the opportunity to very quickly thank you so very much. There we go, thank you. Karen Cruz on behalf of the town of Sahuarita. And here really just to thank you so much for your support of the District Minor Project program. In the town of Sahuarita, we were really struggling with the Deval Mine Road project, and through various solutions that just never really panned out, working with our district engineer, he was able to, we met the eligibility requirements, and he was able to submit the project as a district minor project, and it was hugely impactful for our community. So even though it doesn't directly relate to an ADOT decision at the board level, we really just wanted to come and express our thanks for support of that program and to demonstrate and highlight for you a success story and how important it was for our community. I'm happy to answer any questions, but really we just wanted to say thanks. Thank you.
I think that completes the communications from citizens today, and we will now move on to agenda item 1, our director's report. Director Toth?
Wonderful. Let's see, can we get to there we go. So I do also want to thank the city of Flagstaff for welcoming us and the wonderful reception that we had last night, and the tour was really amazing. I leaned over to Floyd and said, we need to do this. And they said, well, if you have $27 million, I'm like, I don't think so, but.
Just write the check.
I know. So I do have a few items to share with you, and I'll start off with some good news. Next slide, please. We have some awards to talk about. So first up, I want to share that the University of Illinois at Chicago recently recognized ADOT's Environmental Planning Group for its monarch butterfly conservation efforts and its continued commitment to monarch butterfly conservation in Arizona. So last year alone, we helped conserve 670 habitat acres. So the ADOT teams, they promote conservation by incorporating native seeding into projects, and these plants, which include the milkweed, which the monarchs love to eat, will help future populations of the threatened butterflies thrive in our right-of-way. Next slide, please. So next up, the Arizona Transportation Partnering Excellent Award Committee recently announced the 2024 award winners, and we're very, very happy that several of our projects were recognized for this commitment and partnering. So partnering means much more than just working together. It's really a structured process that includes mutual agreements, strong working relationships, consistency, issue resolution strategies, and action plans. So the goal is to create a work environment that is set up for success. So the 7 winning project teams, which you can see on the screen, were chosen for their commitment to the partnering principles. We're very proud of not only the ADOT projects on the list, but obviously everyone in the industry who is successfully utilizing partnering techniques. And a big congratulations to the City of Flagstaff for its win up here. Next slide, please. So next I want to give a brief update on the Phoenix-Tucson passenger rail study. First, a bit of background. The Federal Railroad Administration's Corridor Identification and Development Program it's a federal initiative supporting the development of intercity passenger rail corridors nationwide. And we were selected for the program for the Phoenix to Tucson intercity passenger rail corridor. And since that time, we've really worked closely with the Federal Railroad Administration to develop the Step 1 work plan, which really includes the scope, schedule, and budget for preparing for the service development plan, which is Step 2. So next slide. Just a few weeks ago, we were notified that FRA approved our Step 1 work plan, and that's great news. It's a significant milestone to clear the way to continue to move forward into Step 2. So as you see up there, Step 2, and I'll talk a little bit about the notice of funding opportunity that we'll have to apply for. So next slide. So it really, I think the approval reflects the strong collaboration across many different agencies involved. We're working with Amtrak, with Union Pacific Railroad, obviously multiple stakeholder agencies, and an executive team with representatives from the Governor's Office, MAG, PAG, and the Sun Corridor MPO. So these efforts have focused really on defining the planning approach, what roles and responsibilities, the needs and the priorities for the corridor. Governor Hobbs' appropriation of $3.5 million to support the planning of this was also instrumental in helping us get to the next step. So I do want to point out that the work on our current study builds on years prior planning studies that we conducted, and by us as well as the Federal Railroad Administration. So right now we're working again to establish that formal grant agreement for Step 2 to help fund the development of the service development plan, which we anticipate will take probably 2 to 3 years to complete. Next slide, please. So the service development plan includes the more detailed analysis of alternatives, operations models, infrastructure needs, cost estimates, public engagement, the governance, the funding, etc. It's where the hard work is going to happen. So we continue to engage with key partners as we continue to move forward. So next step, please. So looking towards the future, if FRA approves the Step 2 Service Development Plan, we'll qualify for Step 3, which includes completing the NEPA and engineering and environmental studies. So that step is expected to take also another 2 to 3 years and would come with a federal grant match requirement of 20%. So it's important to know that no funding has been identified to actually construct the rail at this point in time, but that's really what Step 2, the Service Development Plan, is going to be exploring, is the governance and funding models of how we would be able to implement this. So moving on to safety, as always, monsoon, we have another reminder that it is monsoon season and weather can be very unpredictable. We advise drivers that the best thing to do when encountering a dust storm is to exit as safely as you can, and then we have the Pull Aside, Stay Alive safety tips available on our website, pullaside.stayalive.org. They include pulling off the paved portion of the roadway, setting your emergency brake, turning off all your lights until the dust storm passes. So please keep that in mind whenever you're on our roads, and on any road, actually. If you're driven to Phoenix recently, you've noticed also that the I-17 flex lanes are open. We're very proud that we were able to open that for the 4th of July holiday weekend. And I just want to thank everyone for their drivers and the drivers' patience and caution while we built that project. And with that, I'll hand things over for the legislative report to Amy. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Toth.
Good morning, State Transportation Board. Happy birthday, Floyd.
Thank you. But this is my last birthday, so never say that again.
Oh, no, let's not say that. So thank you all. Excited to bring to you today a state legislative update. Next slide, please. And I apologize, it says there were 183 days of session. It actually ended at 165. Our dashboard pulls from an online site and it kept track of the days. So it was 165 days. There were a total of 1,724 bills that were introduced. 439 of them passed. We had a record number vetoed at 174. But there were 265 bills signed, a number of which impacted agency operations, and we'll talk about those. And then of the 130 memorials and resolutions posted, 35 of them passed, and there's one that we'll talk about as well. Next slide, please. So just starting off, I know we heard from Mayor Smith. It's great to see her there. The first thing we just want to highlight is the state budget did fully fund all of the shortfalls related to State Route 347, including improvements to the Casablanca and Cement Access Road intersections, $10,839,000 for those. Right-of-way acquisition, utility relocation, and resource recovery and construction for the Riggs Road and 347 interchange was fully funded at $41,400,000, as well as $1.5 million for the design shortfall of that widening in Pinal County. So we were thrilled to see that this, along with the board action last month, that the State Route 347 is now fully funded. Additionally, the following amounts were appropriated to ADOT. This year they added $27 million to design and construct additional vehicle lanes on the I-10 over in Buckeye between State Route 85 and Citrus Road. There are additional monies next year and the following year for construction, so I believe that project is fully funded now. Additionally, there were $1.4 million for SR-70 safety improvements near the San Carlos Apache Reservation, and a little over $2 million to design a right-hand turn lane on the northbound State Route 87 to the SR-260 in Payson. Next slide, please. And just a couple more local appropriations and pass-through monies that I know we're starting to work on getting the JPAs out. some money to Mojave County for Mount View Road improvements, Bullhead City, Hancock Road improvements. Cottonwood will have some money for Main Street preservation and sidewalk improvements. Flagstaff, you'll be getting $1.9 million for a traffic signal at Woody Mountain Road and US 66. $3 million to Glendale for the 75th Avenue reconstruction project. $1.5 million to Kingman for Eastern Street infrastructure improvements. And the city of Nogales had 3 separate appropriations related to Frank Reed Road, Industrial Park Road, and La Quinta Road. Next slide, please. And I won't go through all of the signed bills, but these have been on the updates for a couple months now as they've been getting passed. So quite a few bills that were signed by Governor Hobbs that impact the agency that we're now in the process of moving forward and having implementation teams. So if there are any questions on any of these bills by the members, please let me know and I'd be happy to connect with you offline and get you some information on where we are. Next slide, please. And again, I think there are about another page or 2 of signed bills and then a few of the vetoed bills as well. So there are the vetoed House bills and then the Senate bills. The one resolution I wanted to raise that was not on here was SCR 1004 that did pass in the final days of session, and that will go to the voters next year, and it would put a question to the voters about prohibiting tracking the vehicles or assessing a tax based on mileage. So that was a Senate resolution from Senator Hoffman that towards the end of the session did make it out and will be on the ballot next session. So I wanted to just flag that for the board as well. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Amy. I don't see any questions from the board. Any online? Oh, pardon me. Board Member Elders.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions for Amy, but I would like to make a comment or 2 on the director's report.
Please.
So it's pretty exciting to see that the Phoenix Tucson passenger rail study is still out there. That is really an exciting vision. It's a very magnetic project. And as the director pointed out, it has been discussed and planned over the years, so it'd be nice to see you move forward. As I say that, I can't help but also recognize the cost it would take to build it. And while I understand, I've heard the director say it's an 80-20 match. I think 20% on the cost of that just to construct it would be significant. And then the cost to maintain and operate. So not to be a doom and gloom, but mindful of the challenges that we have at the present time between the available resources and the needs of the state, transportation needs. I can't help but wonder how that is going to be delivered unless we change the way we fund transportation. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Elders. Any other comments? All right. Director Todd, we are complete with agenda. Thank you. We'll move on to agenda item 2, our district report from Jeremy DeGuider, the North Central District Administrator. Jeremy?
Madam Chair, if I could just pop in here real quick. I just want to introduce Jeremy. He is 2 weeks on in this new role. We're very excited to have him as our district administrator. He was an assistant district administrator here in Flagstaff for the North Central District prior to his appointment to this position as the district administrator. So we're very excited to have him on board and with us today.
Thank you for your kind words. Good morning, Honorable Chair, board members, ADOT Director, ADOT staff, members of the public. My name is Jeremy DeGuider. I'm the new North Central District Administrator, as the Director mentioned, having been in this role for less than a month. Next slide. Before I go into the list of projects that we've got going on, I'd just like to point out 2 significant events. As many of us are aware, we've got the Dragon, Bravo, and White Sage fires that are happening north of us in far northern Arizona. Those have resulted in significant impacts, road closures, and so on. So just want to recognize that we're holding everyone that's been impacted by those fires in our thoughts. The second one that's not on this agenda that I wanted to address was a recent milestone here in the district, and that is the completion of one of the final phases of a public-private partnership that occurred between ADOT, the City of Flagstaff, Vintage Partners, and Harkins Theater. That was completed if you drove into town on Milton Road in the vicinity of Burger King and Target. That intersection was just recently redone, which includes a pedestrian underpass. So many thanks to everyone that was involved in that entire process, getting that across the finish line. That will be something that the community will serve the community well for the coming years. So thank you to all involved for that. Jumping back to our presentation here, this is just a list of our current projects that are under construction, totaling roughly $145 million. We've got a number of additional projects in the pipeline. I'll talk about these projects that we've got ongoing, a little bit about some projects we've completed, some of the upcoming projects, and then just wrap things up with a brief spotlight on some of our maintenance activities. First project I want to point out is on US 89, just north of town here. This is on the northeast side of the San Francisco Peaks. We're doing emergency drainage repairs. This involves expanding box culverts, doing new drainage channels along the roadway and so on. This is largely in support. There's been a lot of efforts that have been undertaken on that in that area, both by the Coconino County Flood Control District, as everyone works to address the impacts of multiple fires, including the tunnel pipeline and the original Schultz fire. Next slide. If you drove up from the south, you drove through this construction project. So just north of Munds Park on I-17, we've got the Willard Springs Wildlife Overpass. This is a grant-funded program as a partnership between Game and Fish and ADOT to construct a wildlife overpass. This also includes roughly 14 miles of wildlife fencing. This should significantly increase our safety for wildlife incidents and so on through this corridor. Next slide. We've got a life extension project that's currently under construction. This is just south of Page, up on US 89. Life extension is a very important tool that ADOT has in our toolbox to keep as much of our pavement condition in that good rating as possible. So it's exciting to see this address roughly 7.5 miles of US 89. Next slide. We've also, on I-40, we've got a rather large project. This is our broadband project, which is installing fiber optic trunk line from the California state line all the way to Flagstaff, so over 200 miles of fiber optic conduit. This has been ongoing. Fiber is being installed through a variety of different methods through that, and certainly a project of this scale spread out over 200 miles certainly presents some unique challenges that the project team is handling admirably. Next slide. Locally, we have in Flagstaff here at the intersection of 4th Street, Cedar Road, and Lockett Road, we've got a roundabout that's being installed at a very busy intersection. At this intersection, there are 3 schools, a community college, and a community library. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of moving pieces that involve stakeholders. The project team has done a great job of working all that through. Currently, they're working in a full closure of that intersection, expecting to reopen the traffic as the school season or school year kicks off. Next slide. On I-40 and I-17, we are also administering a number of truck parking expansion projects. There's one that has broken ground at Sunset Point currently. Later this summer, we'll be breaking ground at the Haviland Rest Area, which is on I-40 towards the California border. And then we also have 2 locations more locally here on I-17, just north of Munds Park, at the Christensen Rest Area, and at the Parks Rest Area on I-40, just west of Belmont. Next slide. Another project that we're excited to see wrapping up, hopefully this season, is the SR-260 project. This is occurring between Heber and Payson up on the rim and in that area of Forest Lakes. This is roughly 30 miles of adding new paved shoulders, extending drainage pipes, and so on. This has been a multiple season project, and as I mentioned, we're hoping to wrap this up this season. And finally, we had another local project. This is one that's being administered on behalf of Hewlett County. This is right on the edge of the town of Payson on the Houston Mesa Road. Similar to our last project, this is adding paved shoulders. This actually just reached substantial completion within the last 2 weeks, so we're excited to see that get wrapped up. Two projects that are in the process of kicking off. The first one is on I-40. We've got variable speed limit signs. So this is roughly 10 miles starting here in Flagstaff, extending west to Belmont. This is modeled largely on that dust detection system that is being utilized down south. So we're excited to have that ability up here in snow country. So we're excited to see that kick off next month. And the final project that was awarded recently by the board is down in Payson on SR 87. We've got a pavement rehabilitation that will address all the pavement through town on 87. It also includes a significant number of ADA improvements. This will be a multiple season project. That first season will largely be all the concrete work, so redoing curb ramps, sidewalks, driveways, and so on. And we hope to finish things up in 2026 by completing all the paving improvements. I know we talk about a lot of stuff that's ongoing, but I did want to recognize a number of the projects that have been completed. So a project that was recently completed up on I-15, just outside of Littlefield, is the Virgin River Bridge number 1. This was a multiple season project that reached substantial completion late last year. This is now an award-winning project. This has won a number of projects both at the state and national level, so congratulations to the entire project team for that. On I-17, last fall we completed pavement rehabilitation on the southbound lanes from Flagstaff all the way to county lines, which is effectively that scenic overlook as you drop down into the Verde Valley. So it's exciting to get all of those lanes treated. On SR 89A in Oak Creek Canyon, we had a suite of projects that were completed. We did some improvements to the Pump House Wash Bridge. We did some rockfall mitigation in the canyon and did some sediment and drainage improvements as well. Next slide. Two other completed projects for those of you that are headed south either later today or at the end of the weekend. As you exit town, you'll notice we have a new bridge at the J.W. Powell. This is also the airport exit or Sedona exit. So that was just completed this past season. And then earlier this spring up on 89 up in Page at Lake Powell Boulevard, a new roundabout was installed, and that actually started and continued work over the winter and actually wrapped up construction in May this spring. Upcoming projects, we have a long list, more than that are on here. Certainly we have the Two Guns to Denison is on the board's agenda today with a recommendation to award. So we're excited to see that move forward. We do have an upcoming pavement preservation on US 60 that will start in Tuba City and move north. Guardrail replacement in Oak Creek Canyon. We were all excited to see Lion Springs continue. We're finalizing design and expect that to advertise later this year and kick off construction in spring of 26. We have pavement preservation coming up on SR 64 just north of I-40 headed towards the Grand Canyon for about 20 miles. We've been working with all of our local partners here and internal stakeholders at ADOT with Flagstaff, the local observatories, and so on for an update to our LED lighting. So there's going to be various locations around town that will be installing new LED light fixtures that meet both ADOT's needs and are in conformance with dark sky ideals. Like I mentioned, there are a number of projects that aren't on this list. That includes a lot of local projects that are kind of in that development pipeline that we expect to be advertised and be administered in the upcoming season. Next slide. And then finally, I wanted to end on maintenance. We spend a lot of time, obviously, talking around construction and all the great groups that work on that, whether through scoping, development, and finally through construction. And they do fantastic work, and they deserve all that recognition. We've got another very significant work group that is out there every single day that maintain our highways and keep them open and flowing. And I just want to recognize all the work that they do. So they're out there doing a lot of the very similar things that are maintaining our pavement and so on until we get to the next construction project. So typically this would look like crack seals, mastic installation, fog seals, chip seals. We also do self-perform spot mill and fill improvements for particularly troublesome areas. One of their large responsibilities during the snow season or during winter is snow removal. If you've had the pleasure of driving up here, you know that's a very significant season for us up here. And of course, year-round, that group is responsible for incident response, responding to incidents, coordinating with DPS for needs, and obviously working to get our roadways open and moving forward. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning, with ongoing fires and things like that, they have a very significant amount of emergency response in their scope. That includes responding to fires where, in the case of White Sage and Dragon Bravo, we continue to work with our partners at the Forest Service and BLM to man the road closures that are currently in place up there. We also will provide emergency response for flooding, slope failures, and other. So I just wanted to recognize all the great work that everyone, both statewide, but certainly the 9 maintenance units that we've got here in North Central are doing. It's my pleasure to work with them. And with that, that concludes my presentation. I'm available to answer any questions, and if there are none, I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Jeremy. Any questions? Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have any questions. I will say congratulations on your looking into the director position, and thank you for the update and being the state transportation board member for Northern Arizona. We do have a lot of these projects that are ongoing, completed, and all their update. It's a lot. And I just want to say thank you to all the folks that are here from the public, and then also our local leadership, Flagstaff, Coconino County, Navajo, and Apache counties. And then also I want to say thank you to our former State Transportation Board members, Jesse Thompson and Orlando Teller, because a lot of the work that you see is going back many years, and I don't know who was on the board before Jesse and Orlando, but those are folks that had work on this. And then also to the tribes, and I see the gentleman from Hopi did leave, but I'm looking forward to meeting with the tribes on their transportation concerns and issues. And I noticed that one of the factors that everything has in common is the human factor. And so when we have transportation plans and concerns and progress moving forward, it seems like no matter how much work is being done, the road spaces and transportation spots are taken up just as quickly and just need that much more funding and maintenance. And so, but if we all continue to work together, we'll continue going into the future, being safe on the roads and providing for our communities. So I want to say thank you to all the folks here and to our board members and Madam Chair for being here and visiting us here in Northern Arizona. The population explodes in the summertime because everybody from the south moves up here. So just be careful with your fires and watching out for the monsoons if you have.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll move on to agenda item 3. Does any board member wish to pull anything from the consent agenda to discuss? Seeing none, we will entertain a motion. So moved. Mayor Klein. Board Member Hermosillo.
Second.
We have a motion by Board Member Hermosillo and a second by Board Member Plaschekai. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, that motion carries. We'll move to the financial report with Christine Ward, our CFO. Christine?
Good morning, board members. I don't have neat pictures like Jeremy.
We need your mic on.
Oh my goodness.
Sarah Button.
How's that?
You
Better? So let's try again. Good morning. Jeremy, nice job, nice pictures. I don't have anything so exciting. In fact, I am happy to report I have a very boring report this morning. As we look into the close of the fiscal year for the highway user revenue funds, you will see that we are right within target range. We came in just a titch below forecast, having collected a little over $1.8 billion on the year. Our forecast was 1.852. We came in at 1.837. Right on target. We love to see that. It's nice and it keeps us stable. The concern there is that we have is we are seeing a slowing in our growth rates. We used to experience growth rates anywhere 4.5 to 6.5%. We're looking at a HERF growth rate of around 2%. And that is heavily associated with one of the concerns with the weakening of our gas tax revenues. If you go to our next slide, you'll actually see those gas tax revenues for the month of June. You'll see that we had 0.1% growth on the month and negative for our overall forecast. Moving on to the Regional Area Road Fund. Next slide. Thank you, Chuck. You'll see, this is stellar. Spot on forecast. 0.2%, a little above. But again, our economists are going to get a little full of themselves if this keeps up. Next slide. This is the individual categories, revenue categories for May, and there's nothing to report here. Moving on to my final slide. The only thing I will report here is Chairman Daniels. You had requested, and we presented, I believe back on the May board meeting, you had requested a slide that depicts the status of the obligation of the program. We presented that to you in May. We were not able to get that ready for this month. We will have it ready for you next month. And with that, unless there are any questions, this concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item 5. It's our multimodal planning division report, and it's Matt this time. Okay, so it's strict.
Good morning, Matt Mall, ADOT Multimodal Planning Division Director. I'm going to give you an update on our tribal transportation activities. First up, we have a corridor profile study on State Route 287 and State Route 87. Specific to the tribal coordination, this ADOT MPD project was initiated in August 2024 and is scheduled for completion in August of this year. The Gila River Indian Community Department of Transportation participates on the study technical advisory committee. In addition to the study meeting June 5th, a coordination meeting was held on June 12th, specific to collaboration with the community. Representation at that coordination meeting included GRIC community council members, GRIC DOT, and the GRIC Police Department. During the meeting, the study findings and draft recommendations were presented. The council and police department comments pertain primarily to traffic safety and increased cross and through traffic, not only on State Route 287 and SR 87, but also on State Route 587 and the tribal routes. The GRIC DOT also identified the following concerns, which included intersection improvements at Gilbert Road, Santan Road, and State Route 187, widening State Route 87 to 4 lanes from Gilbert Road to SR 187, and intersection improvements at the State Route 87 Hunt Highway, State Route 587 intersection. Final study TAC meeting is planned at the end of this month, and this project is on schedule to complete August of this year. Next slide. The next project I'm going to talk about is an ADOT road safety audit on US 89 from milepost 460 to 480 in the community of Cameron. The primary concerns shared by the community involve the safety of school children and pedestrians, as there's high traffic volume along the corridor and travelers speeding through the small community situated along a major state highway. There is a need for increased lighting and signage along the corridor, in addition to increased presence by law enforcement. Next slide. These are some upcoming outreach activities we have. We have the National Transportation on Indian Country Conference in Chandler in September, the Arizona Conference on Roads and Streets in Tucson in September, and the Arizona Transportation Policy Summit in Sierra Vista in October. And with that, that's my last slide. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions for Matt? All right, seeing none. Thanks, Matt. We'll move on to agenda item 6. It's our AZ State Match, AZ Smart Fund Program. Iqbal's here representing, and the agenda did mention that there were no applications, but there was an amendment and a correction that shows that there are 2 applications.
Actually, one application is there. One application.
One application.
Yeah. As a smart.
Yeah, that's the end of the presentation. I think you're on like slide 6. Can you go to slide 1? There.
Great, thank you, thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair and the members of the board. I hope you are doing well this morning. For record, my name is Iqbal Hussain, the Deputy Director of the Multimodal Planning Division. Now I will present item number 6, AZ Smart Funds Program. Under the AZ Smart Funds Program, I will cover 2 topics today. First one is the semi-annual redistribution of funds across all funding categories, and the second one is the new application activity. Next slide. So we'll begin with the semi-annual redistribution. As the board is aware, the board may rebalance the total available funding twice a year, once in January and once in July. As shown on the red box far right column, the total amount available for redistribution in July is $14,867,752. And after the redistribution, each category is reset as $2,973,550. Here is my requested action. Madam Chair and the members of the board, I would like to request your approval to equally redistribute the funds across all 5 categories as shown on the previous slide.
So, as a board, we get to decide if we want to take the recommendation from staff or make an adjustment. Are there any questions about the redistribution? My one concern, oh, go ahead, board member Phil.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Downs. I guess I've got 2 questions. Or one question and a point. One of the questions is can we do the redistribution after we do the award to Clarkdale? Because I think that's going to change the numbers if I guess my concern, Chair Downs, is that there's not a lot of money in any of these pots right now. And by changing it and balancing it now, it makes it even less for each of the communities. So I would personally have a tendency to want to leave it alone just the way it is. And if we don't want to do that, I would say let's give the Clarkdale award before we do the redistribution. If that makes any sense.
Sure, I can understand the approach. It does change the numbers ever so slightly, and requires us to do math from the guidance, which is never.
Madam Chair, if we make the motion correctly, you'll just tell us the action to do it. We can do that.
Yeah, that's a good.
So I'm not going to do here. I'm going to make it fall do that.
We all know our strengths. And I think I understand the approach here. My concern is that obviously the Muni 10K Plus has been the category that has been most activated, if you will, from all of the grants. And so I wonder if we're doing a disservice by not putting some more and additional funding into that particular category. I think the differential here is munis with over 10,000 may have more ability and capacity within their own staff and team members in order to look at those particular grant opportunities and see their own positioning in that process. And if that is the case, are we doing that category to service by not providing additional dollars there? And so I don't frankly know what the answer is. I just can look at the trend, if you will, and it gives me pause. So, Board Member Elders.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think being mindful of the original intent of this program and truly recognizing that the munis 10K plus have some resources and capabilities to pursue grants that the munis under 10K do not. And so maybe that is reflected in the amount of pursuits. But nonetheless, it's also the munis under 10 that really need that help. And I would fall on the position that fair is fair. The intent is to be equal to all and maintain the availability for those that need it to come and pursue it. So my preference is to leave it as is.
Okay. And then do you have a preference on whether we award first and then redistribute, or?
Madam Chair, the difference is really minimal. My preference is we redistribute as presented and then we award.
Okay.
And
that will bring the muni less than 10,000 down to 1.6 million left in that fund, roughly. So.
Again, it's the muni under 10,000 that we were worried about, and I want to encourage. Again, I'm just one member of the board, but my preference is to just redistribute and then award to Clarkdale. It's definitely a worthy project and deserving of.
Okay. Any other?
Sure, yeah. I also agree as far as like pursuing a fair process regarding whether to distribute first or what provide the board first. I feel it's very tricky. Obviously, we want to continue to the intent that was made really for. So I would probably go with the award first and the redistribution of the funds, but that's just my opinion on it.
Madam Chair? Yes. I would prefer to award and then distribute.
Okay. I think you just got outvoted for member Elders, so. But recognizing it is sort of a minimal impact. With that, Iqbal, can you proceed to the presentation of the AZ Smart application from Clarkdale and then come back to this agenda item to vote after?
Sure. All right. Thank you. So our only application today is from Town of Clarkdale, which is requesting $1,303,821 for design and other engineering services for Luke Lane and North Broadway Street project. This project will address safety issues for drivers and non-motorized users. The project will also include construction of the paving, curb and gutters, signage, and drainage improvement. The town is providing $25,000 towards the design, and Town of Clarkdale falls into the municipalities under 10,000 population category, and the town intends to apply for the RAISE grant in 2027, and based on the review, the town's project is eligible for the federal grant.
Thank you. We'll move to the requested action slide, if that's okay.
So.
Yes. I want to clarify, go back to what I just said. I think I am in agreement with Member say award first. I meant
Redistribute
redistribute first, then award.
Understood.
So.
Board Member Howard, do you have an opinion?
I agree as well. You know, we've had this program for quite some time now, and when I visited with the smaller towns, they just don't have the capacity to administer the project, the costs associated with the reporting and so on and so forth. I really think we need to continue awarding these funds, and if there are cities and towns that are ready to go and apply, then I think we need to have them available. So I'm in agreement that we did redistribute first.
Okay, we'll go back to Sure.
Sure.
I can be in support of the process that was presented by the 3 board members as well. Okay. All right. So is there a motion to redistribute the total amount of available funding for awards in July 2025 equally across all 5 funding categories as shown in the chart?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the redistribution of the total amount available for awards in July 2025, equally across all 5 funding categories as shown in the chart.
And I second Board Member Ramsey. Thank you. So we have a motion by Board Member Elters and a second by Board Member Garcia. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Richard?
I'm opposed.
Thank you. So we have, the motion passes. Okay, we will go to the AC Smart application now.
All right.
The award, and is there a motion to award $1,303,821 to Clarkdale?
So moved.
Thank you, Board Member Searle. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Searle votes aye.
And that means there are no nays, so that motion passes as well. Thank you. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you very
On
much.
to item 7, our PPAC items with Matt Moll. And Matt, before you go through your whole presentation, which we always appreciate, are there any questions from the board on any of the PPAC applications?
Madam Chair, I do have one question.
Proceed.
Matt, on the EV charging stations, where is the funding coming from for those?
What item is that? Board member?
There's a bunch of them. I think it's 90% of the list.
Right, okay. I wasn't sure.
Starts
what
at
the
7E.
specific was.
Starts at 7E through the rest of the alphabet twice.
Madam Chair, can I respond?
Please.
Okay. Board Member Howard, these are NEVI funding projects. So the NEVI funding was frozen by the federal administration back in January. We were one of 17 states that sought relief. We were one of 14 states that received relief because we demonstrated an impact to a program that was already in process. So that's where this funding is coming from. It's National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure for projects 7E through 7MM. There is no state funding associated with those projects. The successful solicitor, the awardee will provide the required 20% match. So it's NEVI funding and 20% match from the awardee for projects 7NN and 700. The 20% match is provided by our P3 subprogram, but the rest of the funding is also NEVI funding. Does that adequately answer your question, Board Member Howard?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much. I knew the NEVI funds were frozen, so I was just wondering, that was my question, what had happened. So thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Board Member Rogers?
Madam Chair, staying on the theme of funding, is the intent, I see the amount equal for all these sites. And is that the intent to fund all related costs, including construction? And what is the remedy if the cost exceeds the program amount? Does that mean scaling back of the program, or who provides the funding gap to cover the cost?
Madam Chair?
Yes, continue.
Go.
Sorry, there's a giant.
We're good, thank you.
I wasn't afraid of it.
Board Member Elters, you're correct. The majority of them are the same amount at $800,000, but there are some that are actually allocated at $900,000 because they're in areas with low ADT, limited potential sites for EV charging station. And so we assign $900,000 to those locations. That is at Valley, Bisbee and Douglas, The Gap, Kayenta, Tonalea, Mexican Water, Denohozo, Red Mesa, Tisnos Pass, and McNary. So we assign an extra $100,000 to help spur along interest in those. The estimate is this will fund design, construction, and 5 years of operations and maintenance for these charging stations. So if they go over, we will more than likely be back here through PRB and PPAC action to request the necessary additional funding.
Okay, or rescope the program perhaps.
Correct.
Thank you, that you answered my question.
Well, I just want to be sure, if the additional funding is going to come from the NEVI program, it's not going to impact any other projects in the program. And it'll be again at the 80-20%. Whoever gets awarded that, they will have to provide the match. But they could come back and ask for additional NEVI funds if we have money in the pot.
Thank you, Floyd.
All right, any additional questions on agenda item 7?
Chair Daniels?
Yes.
Follow up on the questions on the charging stations. I'm assuming these are going to be put out proposal like a grant application. Is that how it's going to be? Because you don't have the locations or the operators identified at this time. Is that correct?
Madam Chair. Board Member Searle, these are going to be delivered through the P3 process, so it is up to the applicant to help identify a suitable location where the infrastructure can be constructed.
So this will be put out for bid then?
Yes.
Okay. The other question is how did we determine the locations for these sites?
How did we?
Which cities? How do we determine where to start?
So,
yes.
Madam Chair, Board Member Searle, the locations are designed strategically across the state based on the distance that you can travel in an electric vehicle without needing to charge. And part of the intent is to relieve travel charging anxiety to make electric vehicles more suitable to travel in the rural areas.
Well, I see that. I see no sites in Greenlee County, Graham County, Santa Cruz County. I'm just curious.
Madam Chair, may I?
Please.
So when the NEVI program first came about, if you'll recall, we had to develop a NEVI system plan, which had to be approved by the Federal Highway Administration. And so the first phase of that was concentrating on interstate routes. And then the second phase that you're seeing here are non-interstate routes. We had extensive public outreach associated with across the state, but also with industry to understand where locations that they would be willing to, populate, as well as what are the travel corridors for not just within Arizona, but that connect throughout the nation associated with the electric vehicle chargers ability, as Matt said, between station to station associated with that.
Is there any analysis of where the electric vehicles are registered, meaning the addresses? Was there any additional analysis incorporated in that?
I can't speak directly. I would have to go back to our planning team and ask that specific question.
Madam Chair, yes. It might be a good idea to get a brief or quick summary on the background of the infrastructure studies and proposals for this too.
Yeah, I remember when it came through, Board Member Knight was particularly uncomfortable with the plan, but recognizing it's a federal plan, we accepted it as it came to us and decided that I think Arizona needed its own share of the funds that were being federally distributed. And so I don't disagree with you, Board Member Searle, that there are gaps in the system. And, I've driven on 0 miles for a long time, holding my breath in certain parts of our state, hoping that I'm going to get to the next charging station. So I do know what that range anxiety feels like, but I think over time we'll just continue to see this network build out, just like we did in the 30s, 40s, and 50s with gas stations. It's the same concept. We're just dealing with a new technology, newer technology. Any other questions?
Madam Chair, not necessarily a question, but I also drove an electric vehicle and know the feeling of wondering while you're going to make it or not, or whether you're going to make it or not.
Hoping for a downhill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Turn the AC off. However, though, as we heard from Matt, the program was frozen, but I believe because the state had advanced to the program to a point where it was justified to unfreeze it and provide a waiver. I don't believe we should risk it, and I think we should approve it, knowing that much public outreach and planning went into it. And then as the opportunity, I think when you deliver on a project like this, you also earn the acknowledgement that you can get things done. Any funding becomes available in the future, we can build on it. So with that, and if I may, I'll just go ahead and make a motion
Please.
to approve the project mods as well as the new projects 7A through 7RR.
A second. We have a motion by Board Member Elters and a second by Board Member Hermosillo. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, can you explain my vote?
Sure.
Thank you. I travel northern Arizona all the time, and when I go out to the tribal nations, I see the Port Taurus looking like scared deer in headlights when they're running out of charge. And so I'm happy to see all the communities on tribal nations and in really remote areas of our state on this list. And with that, I vote aye. Yeah.
And Chair Daniels, if I can as well.
Yeah.
I am going to vote aye, but I am very disappointed that there are no locations in Grant County, Greenville County, or Santa Cruz County.
Thank you, Board Member Searle.
And I'll vote aye as well.
Thank you. I believe that's a unanimous aye vote, and so that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move to agenda item 8, the economic strength projects. I did get that Arizona Commerce Authority memo that this would be forthcoming, so thank you. And Iqbal, would you please proceed with agenda item 8?
All right, so now I'll present item number 8, economic strengths project for information and possible action. Next slide, please. Just a quick overview of the economic strength projects or ESP program. Under Arizona statute, ADOT is required to transfer $1 million each year from the Highway User Revenue Fund, HARF fund, into the ESP fund by June 15 of every fiscal year. Each year, project recommendation comes from Arizona Commerce Authority and State Transportation Board approves this project. Just to share with you, to be eligible for this project, these projects need to help retain existing jobs, create significant new jobs, and bringing in capital improvement or make a meaningful or significant contribution to the state and the local economy. One project recommended by the Arizona Commerce Authority is the City of Yuma's Project Ambition. This project will construct new asphalt paved roads near Interstate 8 and Avenue 4E, and the goal is to create jobs, boost the economies and the local industries. The City of Yuma will manage the project, and the construction is expected to be completed within 3 months. In the photo on the left, the red line is the actual project location, and the photos on the right shows the existing conditions of the road. Next slide. The project summary is the City of Yuma has submitted the application to construct a new asphalt paved road. The project is expected to create 40 new jobs and support local economic growth. The total project cost is $7,850,000, with the city requesting $345,240 in grant funding, and city will also provide $38,360 in matching fund. For the requested action, Madam Chair and the members of the board, I would like to make a request for your approval to award $345,240 to City of Yuma.
Thank you. What happens to the additional dollars that are left in that one? Are they swept?
No.
Madam Chair, they are not. They stay in that fund and an opportunity to have them be eligible for option to distribute.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none? Is there
Daniels?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Just a quick question. It wasn't there. Where's the other $7 million coming from on this project?
Sorry, can I hear the question on that?
Oh, here's the question. The additional $7 million is required for the project. Where is that? Where are those dollars coming from?
The city is giving this money.
It's coming from the city. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We have a motion.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the award of $345,240 to the City of Yuma for its project as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Elters and a second by Board Member Searle. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to agenda item 9, the State Engineer's Report with Lisa Hannah.
Good morning, everyone. Madam Chair and board member. My name is Maisa Hannah. I am providing.
Can I ask you to just move the mic a little closer to your mouth?
Okay.
Sure,
How's that?
I have one too.
Okay. I'm here to go over item number 8 and item number 9 for the state engineer. For item number 8, so far we have 88 projects under construction and the amount of $2.9 billion, many projects, and five projects finalized in the month of June. And so far we have fiscal year to date 86 projects finalized.
Next slide. And I'm going to pause right there, Lisa, on all of these slides, and we've all had a chance to review them. Are there any questions about any specific projects in the district engineer's report? Okay, seeing none, and since we have the information, we will. Yes.
Chair Daniels, I did have a question. I don't know if it can be answered or not. But in District 3, there's a TI being updated outside of Wilcox and I-10. And it seems like the contractor hasn't been there for like 2 months. I was just kind of curious on the update on that.
Okay.
That would be in the southeast district, or southeast.
Southeast.
And you don't even have it on the list here.
I don't have it on the list.
Madam Chair, Board Member Searle will get you an update on that after this meeting. Perfect.
Definitely.
So, is that acceptable, Board Member Searle?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Any other questions on these current construction projects? All right, we will move then, with you, Mesa, to agenda item 10, and I'd like to ask the board if they have any questions on any of the recommendations, recommended motions for board for any of these additional contracts.
Madam Chair, I don't have a question, but I do have a comment.
Please.
I'm very, very thankful to see item 3H, US 70. When you come into Graham County, those who attend the meeting next month, you'll come in on the 70, and you will see that most of that road you will be driving on 80% cracked steel. The pavement's just not gone. So I know the community appreciates that project being moved up from last year to Highway 70, and the fact it came in under engineer's estimate's great too. So I just wanted to say thank you so much.
Thank you, Board Member Allen. All right, we have, I believe, 5 recommended awards from 10A through 10E.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can do this in one motion if you so choose. Board, is there a motion?
Chair Reynolds, I'll make a motion to approve contracts 10A through 10E. As presented.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Snurl and a second by Board Member Elters. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
And I believe that was a unanimous vote, so 10 is completed. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. We're moving now to agenda item 11. Are there any suggestions for future board meeting agenda items?
I don't have any, Madam Chair, but I would like to invite all the visitors here to go out and enjoy Northern Arizona Flagstaff, and remind folks that we will be meeting in Tuba City in September for our state transportation. Thank you.
Thank you. You did mention a particular request earlier in the meeting for some additional information on how the plan's going to be.
Madam Chair, I wrote down, future topic was to give an overview of the NEVI program.
Perfect.
What led to this point, where we're at, and then what we have left for the future. Because there's still some funds in that account.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for capturing that. All right. Board Member Howard, Board Member Schultz, do you have anything that you needed to add to the future agenda items?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody who participated today. I believe at this point our board meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
We have some wonderful next week.
We got
You don't have to tell me twice. I love one just like 2-3 streets down called Martin.
Oh, yeah.
And then La Fonda.
Okay.
I like that.
I just wondered if there was one.
No, Martin.
Oh, that's my favorite.
How do you stop it? Stop it, right?
Yeah.